Oh, that's an old throwback there, an old intro done by Jolene. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is President's Day, February 17th, 2025. It's Monday. Good golly, folks. What an incredible weekend. I know we had a great show last night, Sunday Night Live on the Prepared Mind, all across the networks. Right now, we're Facebook, thepreparedmind.club, and of course, subscribestar.com. Get your questions down below. Man was telling me just before the show, we've got a fantastic audience that's really active in the comments. Cool deal. I want to hear what you are thinking. Now, starting off, let's just do a little patriotism, shall we? It's President's Day, and Trump is president. The Democrats are losing their mind. If I had to pick any president, I've got one in mind that would be my absolute favorite. Who is your favorite president? Put them down below in the comments. Just list your president, and we'll see if we can have some fun with that. I would pick George Washington, but I still think my all-time favorite is Andrew Jackson. The man was in 14 duels. He fought in the War of 1812 and just kicked the ever-loving shit out of the British government down in New Orleans, and then he destroyed the central banking system that was a foreign or private banking cartel. He destroyed it. So he did the things that today we want to see done. He did it in the 1800s. He kicked the shit out of our enemy, made England look bad, and punished their banking system. Not to mention he was a fighter. And so I really feel a close connection with old Andrew Jackson. Yeah, no one's perfect. I know, but Andrew did this and Andrew did that. I don't give a fuck, right? He did some good things. People want to complain about Trump. Well, he's done some good stuff, and we've got a lot of great stuff going on right now. Get your questions down below. Get them started. We're going to do my monologue, then we'll get to what you want to talk about. Next up, the Department of Government Efficiency announced last week that they're going to look into auditing the Federal Reserve. They announced over the weekend that they're going to audit the gold being held. And that's still huge news today that's ringing in everyone's ears, especially the bankers. And over the weekend here, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has announced sub-DOGE categories for numerous different bureaucratic institutions. In other words, every institution is going to have their own proctological dogists looking up their asses to see what the hell is going on. The IRS needs to be audited. You bet your ass they do. Here's another big one. The SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, that has been allowing bankers, that's right, bankers and financiers to go into everyone's account, find out what you've got, what your trades are, and screw you out of money by short selling the fuck out of everything. And folks, this is not only good for America, this is good for the rest of the world, because people around the world invest in American corporations that are getting the shit shorted out of them. And what do the bankers care? All they do is suck money out of there. Financiers suck money out of there. And we all get screwed. And we're like, yeah, I got 5% this year. The company doubled production to somehow I only got a 5% increase. I hear that complaint often. Anyways, big things are happening at every bureaucracy. Department of Education, you bet. And tomorrow, I believe Kash Patel is on the voting block to get voted on. We've got all kinds of stuff. Now, big question came up. Can we audit the IRS? Can we indict them, arrest them? Do they get impeached? Or are we just going to ignore politicians and federal judges that are trying to destroy the agenda? My thing is, yeah, we can audit the IRS. We can stop these people, right? There's no law that says the president must allow lawlessness from other government organizations. Crazy is going on today, but this is a big one because I criticize this dumb bitch often. Judge, I believe her name is Tanya Chutkan. Well, this crazy left-wing judge did something correctly. She declined the deep state demand to stop Musk and DOGE from access to federal data. DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has a green light. A green light. They can go ahead and access sensitive information. Right? Like we're not supposed to worry about the IRS looking at our bank account, the IRS getting our personal information, the FBI getting our personal information, the FBI getting access to our bank. That's all fine. But DOGE? Oh, no. We can't have another government department, the Department of Government Efficiency. No, we can't have that. Anyways, folks, this is really driving the left nuts. The fact that, they brought on even more DOGE, shall we call them, Utes, right? Young computer wizards to find out what the hell. Isn't it amazing how the government has oversight committee and special committees and funding committees, and they're supposed to know all of this stuff, and they don't know jack shit, and they have no idea, right? How many people over the age of 100 are collecting right now Social Security? I believe the number is 10 million people are over the age of 100 collecting Social. In other words, there's a scam. There's a sham. People using the same Social Security number, made up Social Security numbers from who knows when. And the government just pays the money out. And now they're mad about it. They've been caught. We, or DOGE, has caught the bad guys, found the fraud, and Democrats don't like it. Isn't that incredible? Someone ran into your car in the middle of the night. They got out and they vandalized your car even more. And then they drove off. And your neighbor has security footage from their Ring doorbell. And they give it to the police and they catch the bad guys and you get pissed about it. No, you'd be happy about your property and who's responsible for stealing it and fucking it up. You'd be happy, wouldn't you? Yeah, we would. Anyways, Judge Chutkan, I'm sorry, Judge, you're still a piece of shit. I am not going to give her a pass, but I think the whole idea of judges being impeached, maybe old Tanya figured that one out. If I don't make a bad decision, then I guess I'll keep my job. Crazy business, folks. Crazy business indeed. And this one has got a lot of people's attention. Up in Toronto, that'd be Canada, a jet, a passenger jet, has crashed. And it broke a wing or two, and it ended up on its lid, upside down. So Delta Airlines has had a nice crash. The fucking planes be falling out of the sky left and right, running into each other, running into helicopters. I'd like to know what the hell is going on. I still don't have like an explanation as to why they need to have planes crashing and falling out of the sky everywhere. Why we need unauthorized aerial vehicles. Why the Chinese weather balloon, more stuff in the sky that falls out of the sky. Why the Chinese weather balloon was American, we've discovered. Or I shouldn't say we discovered, but rather it's been reported. What the hell is going on? The only thing I can think still is they don't want us having travel. They want us afraid of jets and airplanes. Crazy business. Get your comments and questions down below. We got some more fun coming up. It is President's Day. President's Day. And speaking of presidents, the Ukrainian president says this quote, I will never accept any decisions between the United States and Russia about Ukraine. Never. That would be the Ukrainian president Zelensky saying that. And 5 minutes later, it was reported that the little Z-man was polishing Vladimir Putin's shoes. I don't think Zelensky has a lot of choice in this. Now, I think I reported a couple days ago, if not last night, that Trump wants $500 billion worth of natural resources, precious metals, rare earths, etc., in exchange for the money we gave them to fight a war that they didn't use to fight a war. And Zelensky has said, no, he's not doing that. Zelensky has also said, no elections. This little guy, Zelensky, is proving himself to be quite a piece of work. He's gone rogue, folks. He is going to go scorched earth over Ukraine. He's going to burn it to the fucking ground and kill everyone he can, right? He needs this war. He needs martial law. Well, we've got martial law, no elections. He needs it all to keep his grip on the power. And now the Ukrainian Nazi military has for itself finally a Führer. They've got a little Hitler type. Good golly, folks. Do you think that Europe and Zelensky are going to team up and try and invade Russia and keep the fight going? Or do you think Europe is going to shut the hell up and that Zelensky is going to take whatever is given to him and he will shut up? Or do you think that Zelensky is going to continue this war with terror attacks, false flags, like he did the other day, just this weekend or was it Friday, hitting the Chernobyl nuclear power plant with a missile and then blaming Russia? At this stage, Russia's won. There's no reason for them to cause a nuclear accident or try. What purpose would it serve other than to aggravate the United States and Europe, as well as Zelensky? So when you've beaten someone and they're on the ground and they're getting counted out by the ref, 3, 4, right? You can't go over and kick him in the head. Why would you? He's already getting counted out. Makes no sense. Except Zelensky is going to do anything and everything he can. I don't like the little guy. I don't like anything about him. And I made a mistake. I have to correct myself right now. It wasn't 10 million people over the age of 100. I grossly under-exaggerated. The DOGE team has uncovered over 25 million people in the Social Security database. And it turns out that some of them are even older than the country, the Constitution. Apparently, there are vampires collecting Social Security. And I don't know how any of these people over the age of 100, you go up to their door, wherever the mail is being sent, or if it goes to a bank account, you find out who owns that bank account, and you go to their house and you knock. And if there's not someone inside the house resembling a raisin with eyeballs, you arrest them. I don't know why they don't confiscate the bank accounts. And I have a funny feeling, I have a sneaking suspicion that large chunks of these unlawful, illegal acts of criminal fraud against us and Social Security go to the same banks, likely in the same areas of the country, in the same foreign countries. Just going out on a limb there. 25 million plus people over the age of 100. And somehow the government didn't realize that was going on. Somehow. somehow, good golly, the only thing we're missing now, are the arrests. I need to see the fucking arrests. Not the arrests in Germany. I don't know if you guys caught this. I sure hope you did. In Germany, they're arresting people for posting memes and for reposting and liking memes or comments. You can be arrested for liking I'm surprised they're not arresting people for following people with bad memes. Like I'd be surprised, right, for following some of the things I write, or man, right? You follow them, you get arrested. The Germany of today is becoming the Germany of Hitler's era. They're becoming the Germany of post-World War II, Stalinist Russian Germany. And who are the benefactors? Non-Germans. Yeah, it's not that there's a German Nazi party that's it is. It's the illegal immigrants there, the so-called political migrants, and people who are there because they want asylum. It is unfucking believable. How do you like America now? How do you like freedom now? How do you like freedom now, right? Good golly, it is a fucking mess around the world. Now, in America here, we got a little different situation, right? The border czar, Tom Homan, right? He went on Fox News with Maria Bartiromo, and he was talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's efforts to interfere with law enforcement regarding illegal criminals. He says that's a felony. But I want to ask you this, right? AOC and Democrats say that what she's doing is she's trying to shield them and protect their human rights. Is she correct, or is she way off? Is she committing a felony? In my opinion, yeah, she's committing a crime, a felony, a federal crime. Lots of these people are committing federal crimes. What was it? The mayor of Denver, the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, right? They were all talking a bunch of trash. Where are they at now? I really think that there needs to be some arrests over the illegals, over money, the IRS. Oh, yeah, the IRS. I almost forgot this one. I apologize. The moment Pete Hegseth was announced as the Secretary of Defense nominee, the IRS started. Started what? They started an audit. Even before he was confirmed as the Secretary of Defense, which of course took weeks as they tried to destroy his good name, and they tried to impugn him with lies, and they brought out false witnesses and bullshit. They were already also using the bureaucracy, Biden's IRS, to politically attack Pete Hegseth using their policing power. These people are fucked in the head, folks. They're not going to go away. They're not going to give up. They're just not going to go away, and they're not going to give up. So DOGE the IRS, you bet. DOGE the SEC, of course. DOGE, I think there needs to be a DOGE the DOJ. I really think so. I think the Department of Government Efficiency needs to go into the DOJ and see where they've spent money and who they gave it to and for what purposes. Oh, there's a lot going on, folks. These Democrats who have put themselves in positions of authority, Trump is doing something I never believed was possible. 8 years ago, he said he was going to drain the swamp. And for 4 years, he didn't drain shit. And for the 4 years after that, they filled the swamp with even more sewer rats and sludge and well, toilet water. And now Trump 2.0, he's actually exposing these people for who they are. We need to see arrests. But it's not just on the federal level, folks. It's the local level. And I want to give you an example of that. A bunch of sick fucks on a school board actually had to run away from angry parents because the school board got caught. That's right. What did they get caught? Well, they provided books, approved of books with bondage gear, more sexual crap that they put in front of 5-year-olds. Arrests need to happen at every single level, all the way to the top. I mean, the school board literally ran. I mean, I can't tell you if what I would have done or the other parents would have done at my kids' grade school, grammar school, as we called it, middle school, junior high, and then high school, if they were doing that shit. By the time my kids got to high school, you had moron kids running around with little furry ears and tails, and they were stupid. But they didn't have this pornographic material shoving it in front of kids' faces. In fact, the kids used to tell the teachers, we don't want to hear about Obama. Knock off the bullshit. Anyways, we need arrests. So how does that work? Well, we either need Department of Justice attorneys investigating and then referring, right, criminal actions and getting a warrant and arresting people, or we need the FBI doing that. Well, the Democrats know those days are coming, and I really do pray that those days are coming and coming fast. President Trump has now had enough of this shit from judges, these Democrat judges. I think they need to be impeached or just arrested. When a judge uses their power to interfere with another branch of government, they are violating the law and they need to be arrested. You don't have to wait for another judge to sign an arrest warrant. If I were to stick a gun in someone's face on the side of the street and the cop saw me, would he go, oh shit, I need to go get a judge to sign a warrant because I see John committing a crime? No. He wouldn't go get a warrant. He'd arrest me because he sees the crime happening. We have witnesses to the crime. So these judges that are proving themselves criminal by interfering with legitimate executive authority, they should just be arrested. Well, while I'm waiting for that to happen, and I really think it can happen, judges are not above the law. Judges are not immune from arrest. In fact, we've seen judges the last several years driving drunk and recklessly, and then arguing with cops when they get pulled over. Don't you know who I am? I'm a judge. I'm a mayor. I'm a congressman. I'm a city councilman. Don't you know who I am? And they get arrested anyways. Right? But in the meantime, Trump has filed an emergency appeal to the United States Supreme Court because a lower law-breaking court reinstated Hampton Dellinger as head of the Office of Special Counsel. Trump fired that person. So Trump is now going to the Supreme Court to overturn this reinstatement. We have a literal fight between government branches coming up. The Supreme Court is going to either be emasculated. If you look at Sotomayor, that would emasculate just about any man. Same with Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, joking aside, we have a partisan war between the branches of government. The Supreme Court has a chance, an opportunity to set things right. And if they refuse to act or they rule incorrectly, guess what? There is going to be blood. And even if the judges rule properly, there's going to be blood anyway. I don't see any way out of this. I really don't. I really don't. Whether it's local politics with school boards running for their lives, whether it's these protesters who decide that they're going to be mostly peaceful and start murdering people again, whether it's our government fighting itself, or whether it's former allies proving that they need to have their asses kicked, right? Trump is working on a plan to get Ukraine to pay us back. The number there on that news story was $350 billion. One way or another, I guess through money or equipment that the U.S. sent to Ukraine. Are we going to get in a fight with Zelensky over this? Literally, is the U.S. Navy going to sail up into the Black Sea off of Odessa, staying away from Sevastopol and Crimea, and basically going to blockade Ukraine and go, you know what? Fuck you guys. Now you owe us. Literally, Russia's pissed at them. They're like, you owe us for killing our people and fucking us over. Wouldn't that be a strange turn of events? Because Europe is just pissing everyone off. They're pissing off Trump, and all of the anti-Trumpers are running to Europe to say, really, really, that's not what the United States is about. We're about kissing your asses, giving you all the money we steal, and doing what you want. Well, I remember, and Uman remembers, because he's got a great memory. We were asking the question, is Trump part of the problem, or is Trump part of the solution to the problem? Is this a big joke, a show, a sham, or are we going to get our country back? I still don't have the definitive answer because we're just now starting. Are we making enemies around the world, or are we making friends? Are our own friends actually our own enemies, and we just thought they were friends? We got some interesting shit going on. That is absolutely for certain. I think we, the United States of America, the people of America, have discovered that our own government has not only been taxing us, but they're stealing the tax money. They've been doing it for a long time. There's a lot of people like, you know what? Fuck you. I ain't paying taxes anymore. I know that's the sentiment, and I bet very few people actually go that route. But we're wanting a fucking tax. I want my money back. What have I been? Why? Right? Everyone who has stolen money, it should be taken from them. If the United States Treasury, the United States government can take Russia's treasuries, right? If they can freeze Russian accounts and steal their money, this is all done under the Biden administration. If they can do that, then they can take senators, congressmen, corporations, other countries. We can go get our money back from them as well. There's going to be trouble, folks. There's going to be trouble. But there's the really big news, I think, over the weekend, and there's a lot of it, is the gold. What is going on with the gold? The question that hasn't come up since Trump's first term, when Steve Mnuchin, the former Treasury Secretary, says he went to Fort Knox and said the gold is good. There's never been a full audit since Eisenhower was president, and only partial audits, the last one being in 1974. The fear is there's no gold there, just one big fat IOU. Is that why they're flying in gold by the plane load? They can only put so many tons of gold on a plane. You can put hundreds of tons on a seagoing vessel. But they're trying to get the gold back from England into our country. Why? And to where is it going? And who is the purchasing agent? And who is the client? Man, there's some crazy ass questions out there. But for now, let's do this. Let's switch over to the inner circle. That is you guys, your questions, your thoughts. It is President's Day. Who is your favorite president? Woo! Okay. Let's do this, Mr. Uman. Who do we have out there? Is it Cyber Hana? just told me she was on a Delta flight out of Minneapolis yesterday. Well, that's where that plane that landed in Toronto took off from. I sure hope Cyber Hana was not on that plane. No, but that's pretty close, huh? A little close to the action. Jiminy crickets. Scary business. I wonder if Cyber Hana is going to rent a bicycle and pedal home so she doesn't take another chance. Unbelievable. Crazy. I'm glad she's fine. That's good news. Thank you, Mr. Uman, for that. Okay. Let's have some more fun. Bam. Who's next? It is Bioxo77. And he says, I'm not far from Toronto as the crow flies, and it's super windy, lots of accidents, and multiple car pileups, and drifting snow and whiteouts. That is the Great White North. That's, folks, I lived in extreme Northern California. We had that. Ice storms, snow drifts, whiteouts, blizzards, huge wind. It cracks me up. Even in Florida here, and I'm not making light of all the disaster from the hurricanes, but I stood around going 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds. I had these all the time in Northern California. The air would come rushing down the Sierra Nevada into the valleys and just blow everything sideways. Anyways, it's not fun. It's not easy, but you're supposed to be able to live through that. Still, roads freeze over. It's dangerous business. You know, wind, ice makes things difficult. That plane landing, that's a tough one. Now, I've landed a lot of times in Reno Airport, Reno International. And the plane comes in like this, and right when it goes to touchdown, it crabs sideways because the wind is blowing it. And so they got to, it's crazy. When the wheels touch down and you're cocked about 20 degrees off of straight. I've landed in Chicago. The one time I've been to Chicago, Uman, was in 1988 because I was flying to North Carolina as a Marine, and I was sick to my stomach. Sick to my stomach. Landed in Chicago. I woke up, looked out the window, and the captain says, we're de-icing the wing of the plane. It looked like Die Hard 2 when the airport was frozen over. They land planes on the snow and ice, and planes take off from the snow and ice. So I don't know if they have special pilots for that, but good golly, what a mess. Winter is winter. Winters are hellish. That's why I'm down here in Florida. But the only time the roads get icy is when someone spills a Slurpee. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the veal. All right. Oh, man. Yeah. Thank you, Bioxo. Mr. Uman. Who do we have rolling up next? We've got Uman says at some point, Z gets disappeared. He's talking about Zelensky, Ukraine's leader. Voldemort Zelensky, who now has allegedly a mansion in Florida. I don't know where that would be at. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Naples, perhaps. Anyways, he's got property in Cyprus, I believe, in Italy. He's supposedly has a couple $1 billion he's tucked away for himself. If he disappears, my question is he living with all that money, or is he dead? Right? What kind of disappear are we talking about? That's the thing. I think he's going to disappear from the news and the spotlight. He's going to disappear from being in power. But will he just be greased? And another thing is I want to know where the fuck the money went. If they can freeze Russian assets, if they can kill my PayPal account because they don't like my social credit score, how the fuck can he move money anywhere and it's protected? Additionally, all of this banking crap is crap. this terror organization's getting money from USAID, U.S. aid. How can we not know who they are and what their bank accounts are? And why can't we freeze them and confiscate their money and take it back, put it in the U.S. Treasury as credits to the system, and stop playing these fucking games? I know Trump's doing a lot, folks. Damn, more than anyone ever has, more than I ever dreamed he would dare. I want it to continue to go faster, and I want some arrests, and I want some something. But yeah, I think Z is going to disappear. Whether he tries hiding or whether he just gets Arkansided. Either way, if I see him in Florida, he's probably not going to like meeting me. And hopefully, if you get a chance to meet him, you'll point out that he's a mass murdering, lying sack of shit, and a thief, and a fraudster, and everything else. Name it. That's what he is. When I say mass murderer, I'm talking about his own people that he sent to the front line to be destroyed. Enough of my opinion on this. Let's see what you guys are thinking about. I'll do another one with you guys, and I've got something that just popped up on my my little screen over here, letting me know. Mikey G says he's a Napoleon with a small man complex. The little man complex. You know, I actually read somewhere the other day that Napoleon was actually 5'6", not short and tiny for men of their time. I don't know. I don't know if I can believe that. I mean, 5'6" by today's standards is not tall, but 200 years ago, 5'6" was probably average. But I don't know. Why would they always make a joke about Napoleon and little men if he was actually just average? It's not like we made that up, just in the last 30 years. Anyways, thank you, Mikey G. Yeah, these little guys, they sure bark a lot. They sure do. Now, speaking of barking, well, at the Munich Security Conference, that was where Vice President J.D. Vance went over there and explained to them what free speech is. The Europeans, who then went on the news and did interviews saying, well, if he was in our country and he was talking like that, he could be arrested for saying the things he said. Right? Anyways, the Europeans were so upset by J.D. Vance that the conference chairman went on stage and started literally crying tears because J.D. Vance shook him up. You want to talk about traumatizing and triggering these freaks? This is a grown man in his 60s, maybe early 70s, crying tears because J.D. Vance said things that he didn't like. And by the way, this fruitcake European who was triggered by words of peace and sincerity and intelligence is the same asshole who at a United Nations meeting during Trump's first term sat in the studio and audience and laughed at Trump, made a scene of himself laughing at President Trump when Trump said Germany would have to rely on Russia for its energy. Turns out Trump was right. Their policies did put them in a position where they now burn coal and gas and oil from Russia. These Europeans, folks, are dumbasses. Not because they're Europeans, but because they're fucking socialists. They are the equivalent of Democrats. And they are that stupid and that blind. And they will do everything they can to destroy themselves. And I just say, get out of their fucking way. At this point, get out of their way. I think that Trump should take us out of NATO. Out. We're done with NATO. Fuck it. We're done with the United Nations. Why do we need to be in the United Nations? What benefit do we get other than being told we're the world police, pay for it, and then when we're done, they say, hey, you were acting like the world police, you're jerks. It's kind of like the Democrats who are getting taxed, and then they get mad at Elon Musk for finding out who stole their tax money. That's your standard Democrat. That's your standard European. You know, they're punching themselves in the face. And then when you try and stop them, they're like, stop trying to stop me from punching myself. They're idiots. All right. Anyways, let's have some more fun. I'm having fun with this, folks. But I also have my trusty say hello to my little friend right here. Because shit can go wonky sideways quick. We've got Diving Fraud checking in, and he says, John, I see where Lord Rothschild was crying that we to get rid of Trump because he is undoing the globalist regime. Maybe because in reality, they're the broke ones. Well, I know they're morally broke. I know they're spiritually broken. I doubt that they are broke as in they've got no money. Their goals are to create a new world order or a one world order, a globalist world order. That is to say, a bureaucracy, a bunch of self-appointed, self-aggrandizing, narcissistic, megalomaniac assholes in the European Union, in Washington, D.C. Oh, of course, the Davos douches, the World Economic Forum. They wanted all of that control so they could own everything. You would own nothing, and you, according to them, would be happy. Now, I don't think they're broke because I am certain that they have gotten their own supply of gold, possibly ours from the United States Treasury, from West Point, from Denver, from Fort Knox. They have their own banks, their own vaults. I'm sure they stole the Rothschilds and everyone in their little circles. All the cash they've stole, they've turned into real estate. They've bought islands. They are building massive bunkers. And of course, they are digging very, very deep mines in the Swiss Alps. I don't know if people are aware of this. They are literally mining in Switzerland, not for gold, but to create vaults that are hidden behind massive steel door after massive steel door to hide the gold that they have stolen from the world. What they don't want is to be caught. What they don't want is to be held accountable. And I think it was Evelyn de Rothschild who had died a short while ago. He has been accused by many women of being sexually assaulted and raped by him. These Rothschilds, these elites, the Red Shoe Club, if you will, they they don't like it. But speaking of red shoes, something very interesting happened yesterday. And I caught it. And I wanted to see if anything showed up on X today, and it did. And I saw the naysayers and the poo-pooers and people who believe in coincidences. But Trump got out of the beast, right? The armored, bulletproof, bomb-proof, rocket-proof limousine, the beast. And he didn't have Melania Trump with him. He had one of his granddaughters with him. And she was wearing literally ruby red shoes, and on her little shirt, she had a rainbow. Her shirt or her dress, she had a rainbow. And people said, hey, that's kind of like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And then that brought up the discussions on this. Why would she wear ruby red shoes? Now, little girls, they just wear stuff they like. I get it. There's a chance. There's a coincidence that she's just wearing ruby red shoes. She's a little girl, right? And she's wearing a rainbow, right? Somewhere over the rainbow is the song from The Wizard of Oz, right? And the original in the book, the shoes were silver, not ruby. But most people would miss the reference if they weren't read. Thank you, Mr. Uman. So, and in Oz, you follow the yellow brick road. And instead of getting to a golden city, yellow bricks, golden bricks, you get to the emerald city, green, right? Green. And who controls Emerald City, right? The man behind the curtain. Just quite interesting. The citizens of Oz. You have a cowardly lion, a tin man who works and works till he rusts and he's done, a scarecrow who has no brain, but he's given a certificate. There's just all of this. Anyways, it was crazy stuff. I don't know what you think. I found it highly amusing, right? The Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Ounces. See, ounce is O-U-N-C-E, ounce. But when you abbreviate ounce, it becomes O-Z, period, Oz. The Wizard of Ounces. Just interesting stuff. I wonder. Now, I'm not going down the Q road. I'm not saying where we go on, where we go. I'm not starting my own cult. I was just having some fun with it. Because you just don't see that many ruby red shoes, but you do see a lot of, red shoe men's clubs. And that's kind of like, the man with one red shoe, Tom Hanks, who's been getting a lot of attention lately for his bullshit he pulled on Saturday Night Live, wearing a Make America Great Again hat and acting like a white supremacist asshole by going on Black Jeopardy again. Anyways, very interesting. He embarrassed himself. He embarrassed the left. I enjoyed every bit of it. Mr. Uman, let's have another one. Let's have some fun out there. Christopher Hole, woo, CJ Flex says, if they don't arrest people, this is not really real. Rule of law is for everyone who breaks it. I agree 100%. Nothing says a two-tier system of law and order like you and I get arrested if we don't pay our fucking speeding ticket, our parking ticket. But they can commit the most egregious fraud, theft, and abuse. And they get some exposure, some embarrassment, and no arrests, no prosecution, no guilt, no jail time. I think, Mr. Hull, that you, sir, me, Uman, and everyone else here, we need to be writing and commenting and sending demands to DOGE, sending demands to the FBI, sending demands to the Attorney General Pam Bondi, sending demands to your congressmen, your senators, and say there better be some fucking arrests. There better be some fucking arrests. Now. Right? We got Kash Patel tomorrow. When do the arrests start? I want to know. Somebody, right? When Reagan took office, actually before he took office, he said the bombing starts in 15 minutes. Scared the shit out of the Russians and everyone else. Kash Patel needs to be confirmed, and he needs to say something like, the arrests start in 15 minutes. It needs to happen. If they don't arrest people, it's bullshit. If they don't arrest it, I don't care. Give me my money back. Great. Give me my fucking money back. That's number one. Number two, don't fucking ever talk to me about taxes again, and don't talk to me about breaking the law ever again. If they don't get arrested and they don't get held accountable, we've got the names. There are organizations everywhere that have kept track of everything Hillary has done. James Comey, Eric Holder, the Obamas, Nancy. Every last one of these, there's an organization that follows every one of them. Not to mention organizations like the ATF and the FBI and what they have done. What the Security and Exchange Commission and the CFTC, what all of these bankers have done. There are people that literally have cataloged volumes of criminal activity that just need arrests and prosecutions. Chris, it's out there, man. Everybody knows. And there are people that Who was it? Fucking Peter Strzok. Is his name Peter? I think so. FBI asshole, the evil elf, right? The sneering elf. The little lying sack of shit. He was erasing over the weekend everything off of Twitter. Why do you suppose he did that? I think it's because he knows Kash Patel is coming. He knows that he's committed crimes, and he's going to try and hide. Well, everyone has already downloaded, saved, and made copies of everything that son of a bitch has ever said and done. Good. Hold him accountable. But we need to see it, Chris. I believe you, man. I understand. I really do. I'm right fucking there, and I am pissed about it. One, I'm glad to see all the exposure. Americans are waking up, fucking eyes wide open. Holy shit, right? Arrests. Dr. 762 says, John, perhaps Kash will have these criminals tossed in the DC brig upon confirmation. Maybe? Well, I don't know. Are you in the Navy or the Marine Corps calling it the brig? Everyone else has been calling the DC prison a gulag or a prison. Yeah, they need to be thrown in the brig. They need to be sent down to Guantanamo Bay. They need to be held as traitors if they have taken an oath and they have violated that oath with a treasonous offense. For all the others, yeah, lock them up in the DC brig gulag prison, right? Now, Kash weeks ago was credited with what was happening in the FBI. Understand that. He was credited with some of the changes, the removal of the diversity, equity, and inclusion bullshit. A lot of FBI agents were resigning right then. Well, guess what was being reported today? That in some of the field offices, the FBI agents are fighting amongst themselves. I don't know if that means fistfights. I don't know if that means debates or arguments with abusive language. I have no idea. I hope to find out, and I really hope that the good FBI agents that aren't a bunch of slimy, backstabbing weasels, I hope that they are there and have kept the paperwork, that they're not destroying emails, files, hiding information, shredding it, burning it. But I'm sure I would be shocked if they destroyed those files. I'd be fucking shocked. Oh, there's going to be war and hell to pay. Ooh, man, who's next as we roll into the last 10 minutes of the hour? And it is Peggy Cruz. Says we are not going to go away and we are not going to give up either. Fucking A, Peggy. That is good to hear. This is my country. This is your country. This is our country. It's supposed to be a country of law and order, governed by our representatives to maintain the peace and protect us from invasion. Basically, the government has done absolutely none of that. They try ruling over us instead of governing. They've made up their own rules and laws instead of following the Constitution. They have not protected us from invasion by domestic, or rather with domestic enemies involved and foreign enemies coming in and foreign nations buying up our government, buying up our assets. Unbelievable stuff. Anyways, Peggy, do not give up. Do not go away. Keep yelling. Pow. So that your words hit. So that they hit. All right. Thank you, Peggy. Ooman, where do we want to roll next? Bump, ba-da-dum, bump. And it's Biaxo again. He says, close off the borders and let the world destroy itself as we roast marshmallows and eat popcorn and drink high-quality non-Anheuser-Busch beers. Anyways, the border's pretty much sealed off. I think Tom Homan reported that somewhere between 200 and 250 illegals got in the country last week versus, I think, 5 to 10,000 a week. What I would like to know is if 225 people got in, how do they know only 225? Is that the number of people that they chased and they somehow got away or got into an underground tunnel and made it, or got into a vehicle and were sped away? I don't know. But yeah, the border's closed off. And I really like the idea of literally launching these people out of the country. I do. I like that idea. Nothing will scare them more. In fact, I don't really want people to be hurt. But if you took mannequins and put a big sombrero on the mannequin's head, put a big handlebar Mexican mustache on them, put some Mexican clothes on them, and launched them over the wall and into the river, what do you think the illegals would think of that? They'd be like, holy shit, man, right? Hey, that's not nice. Pedro is now like sinking like a stone, Petro in the water. All right, und next. Oh, man, where are we going? We've got Larry JW. He says, genius level artificial intelligence could discern everything that was destroyed. There's nowhere to hide. I concur. We're supposed to have these incredible programs. Isn't it amazing how government can't figure out where all the money's going? Isn't it amazing that multiple people are using the same social security number and getting away with it? Isn't it amazing that they can give out millions of dollars to organizations and charities around the world and to news organizations, even to Obama's daughter and Chelsea Clinton and all? This is all American tax money being given away. And there's no tracking, no accountability under the current computer systems. Elon Musk goes in without AI, without artificial intelligence, and within a couple of hours goes, look what we found. Holy shit. Brr, 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 brr. They start auditing Social Security. They're like, holy fuck. $2.3 trillion went over. What? That fast. It's like just genius level programming. It didn't even take artificial intelligence. Just some fucking nerds. God bless them, right? But yeah, but having, I guess, a supercomputer with artificial intelligence could take all these various pieces from everywhere and figure out who did what, when, where, and how much. Right? They can read bleach bitted drives and figure shit out. The thinking, right? The fact that government and government workers are looking at bleach bit, they're destroying files and computers and erasing stuff. The fear and the panic, right? The fear and the panic is just incredible. I tell you. Keir Starmer, that's right. You know him as the asshole Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He is ready to send British troops to Ukraine to enforce a peace deal. This is interesting. Enforcing peace. Against whom? Are the Brits going to send British troops to stand on the border with Russia and make sure these Russian Federation states don't invade? This is incredible. They actually believe, the Europeans do, that Russia wants to take over the entire European continent. Now, England has nuclear weapons and France has nuclear weapons. I don't think that'd be a smart idea, do you? But I mean, the Brits are going to force Ukraine to accept Trump's peace deal. Is that what's going on? I don't know. These people are all nuts. What I do know is that you and I need to be prepared. We need to be prepared, folks. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Are you prepared for what is coming? Watch. Oh, we're going to see some stock market shakeups. We're going to see Bitcoin, in my opinion, is either going to go to $1 million a Bitcoin or it's going to go down to, well, $1,000 a Bitcoin. this is going to play out very soon. Gold is either going to, well, it's going to keep going up or it's going to go up really fast. Stock market, could we have a collapse? It's very possible. I don't know what, we've got big stuff coming. Are they going to try and assassinate Trump again? I think they will. He is destroying everything in this. Are they going to try and assassinate Elon Musk? They've already tried, folks. They've already tried. That doesn't mean they're going to stop just as much as Peggy says, we're not quitting, we're not going away, we're not giving up. Neither will the left. I think this is ultimately going to end badly. Name redacted says the inning ends and the game remains the same. Well, the game isn't over.